All right, guys, what's going on? So I get this question a lot. That is, what is the paper test? Well, the paper test is simply just this. You have your Red Sea tank on the top, you have the stand on the bottom, and you try to wedge this piece of paper between the tank and the stand. And you know, this is my Red Sea Reefer 625. And at the beginning of the year, when I had just set up this tank, it was actually pretty solid. I wasn't able to, you know, put a sheet of paper in. And so theoretically, it passed the paper test. This here, I mean, this is as far as it'll go, which is good. So it's going in about, you know, there's slight variation and gap, but this is actually pretty good. But after setting up the tank for about a few months, you know, there's some weight on it with the water. And it could be a design issue with Red Sea and their tank stands. But after a few months of this tank settling in, I did start getting a bigger and bigger gap, especially in the middle here where there's no support. And I was able to stick the sheet of paper at least halfway through. And it seems as though this tank started sagging a bit right in the center right here. So what I did was I actually reached out to Red Sea, and they had one of their sales rep from Texas reach out to me. And what I did was sent over some pictures with the sheet of paper being wedged between the tank and the stand. And they were quick to respond, and in about 3 days, they shipped me this kit right here. All right, so this kit, although it's labeled for the Reefer XXL 750, it's the same process for the 625 XL. So just make sure to go through your inventory. Make sure you have all the screws, all the nuts, the correct pieces before you begin. In my case, I had received extra pieces, so I had extra parts just in case some of the screws that I got were missing. But yeah, if you follow through, just follow the instructions. That's what I did, picture by picture. I just measured, made sure that everything's in the correct spot. I also had a leveler, so I'd make sure that the pole, before I was mounting it onto the bottom base, I had just make sure that it was upright and it wasn't tilted by any means. So I just made sure that it was positioned correctly before I mounted it on. But yeah, just make a note of all the parts that you have, lay them out, and then make sure that you're able to complete the task before you get started. So in my case, I just made sure I had all the parts, make sure they were, I was able to mount them all together, and then before I started taking things apart off my tank, I already had a plan to make sure that I can put it all back together. So this is actually a kit that's fairly straightforward and easy. If you follow the instructions, just make sure you remove what needs to be removed and then install what needs to be installed. But to make it easier, I had a power drill. I think you actually need one, otherwise it's going to be really hard to screw in the support, the wood support that's supposed to go on the inside, the far corners. So yeah, this is a kit. Just make sure you have everything before you start the process. This is aluminum, with of course your plastic pieces here. This is like a CNC aluminum piece with like a ball joint in here, and you can actually, there's a nut here that you screw up, and it actually pushes this top wood piece up to fill up the gap and to hold it there. So that's actually what I did here. It came with the whole kit. There's a piece of wood right there, and if you follow through on the instructions, it comes with this kit here where you can mount this piece of aluminum in, and then of course you got to mount it down here to the base of your board. So there it is, screwed onto the bottom base board here. And along with that, it actually comes with these two support bars on both sides of the tank, which is this piece here that gets mounted in. And my tank is kind of dirty from the skimmer overflowing. But if we just focus on this piece here, you can tell this is something that doesn't come with the normal kit. So this is with the support kit. So this comes with the support kit. You have to get that installed. And I did the same thing over on this side, but this side had to be trimmed because of my false wall here. So this one is actually a bit shorter, but it's there. It's hard to make out, but it's there. This is the shorter piece. Anyhow, after installing this kit, I can tell you that the paper doesn't go in that as far as it used to, so the gap has been closed, and I can tell that there's actually more of a support right here in the center where it needs to, where there needs to be one. All right, so that is a short video of my current setup with the Red Rea stand here. This little fix here that they came with, this bar support center brace here. And I think if you have, you know, the Red Rea 525 or the Red Rea 565 up to the 750 or even the Peninsulas, I think this is something you should consider. Even if yours is not sagging like mine, so mine did sag a bit right here in the middle. Even if yours doesn't sag, it's probably a good idea to get this kit installed just to make sure that structurally it is well supported and that it'll last for many years to come. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I'll leave the link to Red Rea below and their contact information. I actually spoke with a gal named, I believe, Angela. She was very helpful and she helped me through this process of getting this support kit. All right, guys, so check down the comment, and like always, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.